If you don't have it figured out, that's totally fine. But just knowing that you're going somewhere, you understand that the the end result is what you're seeking for, right? Whether you have it figured out or not, you know that you. It's basically when you have a puzzle, you know you have to complete this puzzle, right? But you don't know exactly what move you're gonna make to finish the puzzle. But you know the end result is to finish the puzzle. So you're not too concerned with whether or not you know how you're gonna go about finish this puzzle, but you're already heading in the right direction because you're aware that you need to complete this puzzle. So just having that awareness, that understanding, even if you don't have a full, you don't own it, you don't grasp that moment, but having that understanding, it allows you to then make the right decision on how you're going to approach that situation. Does that make sense?
Look, hell of an intro. I tell you what you info, but I never really been the type of dude to give no info. But if you see your ends low and you trying to get a benzo, I'll give your ass some game that'll change the way that you think, bro. Super skilled with the pencil, super ill in my mental. I reminisce on life, I'm nice, here's my memento. Get it through your tempo, I get on any tempo and give it all I got. I'm hot, I got like 10 flows, trying to live on the 10th floor, across from residentials that I own. My mind stay grown, I used to think clothes, I really used to think hoes and what I do to get those, and then I switched it up. I'm only thinking potential.
People stop for all kind of reasons.
Interesting.
He fulfilled what he wanted to do, and it was time for him to move to something else.
That's fair.
Or maybe it just became hard, and he wanted. You don't really know until you get to the back end of things with that individual.
What about those that start and then stop too soon?
If you start and you stop too soon, then you're a quitter. You quit.
Do you consider? I don't even want to go here. So before we go into this, you know what we do here, man. Welcome to the Walk and Grow podcast, where we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. You name a place that does the same thing that we do. If you're ever looking for some sort of motivation, inspiration, guidance, anything, you're in the right place. We make it our mission to give you, the listener, we're talking to you right now, a place to come where you can learn a little bit more about how can you take things to the next level. Whatever it is that you're stuck on, how can we help you get over that hump, make it through that wall, that brick wall, I should say, because it's always tough making it past this wall. But I want to get back to the question I was just about to ask you. Do you think quitting is considered failing? That's where we come. We starting off right there for y'all. I really want everyone to think about this right now. Do you consider quitting failing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Want to elaborate, or you just want to leave it there?
Because if you quit, by quitting, it implies that you have the necessary resource to fulfill the task, but you gave up midway through it, or you gave up at a point where you didn't feel comfortable continuing, although you have the skill sets to continue doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And now if you quit, that means that you have failed to fully use the skill sets that you have to accomplish the task.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a scenario here, and let me know if this is quitting. You gave yourself a task. You did it, but instead of going on to the next task, you stopped.
Why?
Maybe you just didn't want to do it no more. Do you still consider that? Does that?
Well, be careful, because now you're going from giving up and quitting. That's two different things.
Okay.
If you give up on something, you no longer see it as being valuable to, the vision or the outlook that you have.
Gotcha.
But if you quit, it's different.
So when would you consider something quit? Like, when would you consider something or somebody quitting, like, as a failure?
That's what I said. Quitting as a failure is when you have the skill set to complete the task, but you do not finish the task. You do not complete that task because you deemed it, for whatever reason, that it's not, no longer an avenue that you want to pursue, although you have the skill set to accomplish that task.
Yeah.
Right? That's quitting.
Oh wow.
That's just how I see it. It could be, somebody else maybe have a different definition of it, but to me, that's how I see it. But rather than giving up is, you have the given skill set,
Mm-hmm.
and you just don't see value in that element anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I could definitely see that. I'm trying to distinguish the two myself.
So yeah, answering your question, I do think quitting is
Failing.
failing.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you think like people just
How did you come up with that question to begin with? What made you think of it?
Of what? People quitting?
Yeah, of that question that you asked me.
Well, because a lot of times we start something and we just don't continue doing it for whatever reason.
Lack of consistency and discipline.
But then you can also say, instead of someone giving up, it was just lack of consistency, no?
Not necessarily.
Why?
Because if you had are you saying that somebody giving up on a project is lack of consistency?
So they started it.
You could have had the consistency, you just ran out of content. Or you ran out of...
Let's actually bring this to social media. Yeah, I think that's a really good...
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, people who start podcasts and never finish,
Right.
So why did you start it to begin with, right? You may have a reason why you started it, and you feel as though you fulfilled that reason. Cool, you can end there. But
Right.
But if you give up, knowing that you had the potential to continue that's quitting. You quit on yourself because you have...
Is that quitting? Or you just gave up because you didn't see the value in it
Well,
anymore?
if you don't see the value in it, then you give up. Right. That's what I'm saying.
So it's all about how that person
how you
perceives
perceive the situation.
I think that's a problem though, because I think everybody would just perceive as I don't care about this. I don't see the value in this no more. So it's easier to just say, I'm just gonna give up on this.
But you also do have those who see the value in it, but just are stuck for whatever reason. They're facing a hurdle that they may not be able to navigate themselves.
Right.
So for that reason, they decide to no longer do it. Right.
Okay.
But if you just pack up and leave because
that's straight on quitting.
Yeah.
Right? That's like running a race.
Yeah.
And midway through
you can finish the race, bro.
Right.
I don't care if you finish last.
Yeah.
You can finish the race.
Yeah.
Finish it.
I don't.
But if you just stop and you're like going sideways, that's right there. That's quitting.
Yeah.
But giving up is
I think it's to use this example is like let's just say you're running and you get hurt, right. And then you go and get that treatment, but instead of finishing the race, you gave up to go get the treatment because you were hurt. And it's fair.
Because that race at that point did not have any more value to you,
but your
health
have
is
finished.
a lot more
You still
valuable.
could have finished,
right?
Because it's just gonna take you a little bit longer.
I think you could have picked a bit better example, but it makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah, examples is fine, but what I say all this to say it's staying in the game, and when I mean game, it's I'm not gonna tell you what type of game to say, think, or believe. Whatever game that you want to really say that's what it is. That's what it is to you. But it's important that we stay on that path, on that journey, and we understand that. Again, Joel Embiid says it the best, man. Part of the no. What did he say about the process? What's the saying?
Dude, if you're gonna quote somebody, at least have your facts accurate. Where
Joel Embiid, he says, something about the process, and no, not enjoy.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Yes. Jeez,
wow,
son.
Where
was your brain?
I don't know. It's not here, obviously. But we'll get it back on track. But no, it's important, and part of that journey that you trust that process. Everything that we do is part of the process. Again, we're potting right now, and this is part of our process. This is part of our journey. And things that we're going to go through that, hey, we may not like. One thing I will tell you is I'm not a quitter. You a quitter, man?
No.
You giving up?
No.
Yeah? I know. I remember you told everybody. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but this guy said it. And I'm going to repeat it just so they can go and find it.
Sure.
He said he's doing this until he's 6 feet under.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know,
It's a big commitment.
it's something that I enjoy doing. Sharing the knowledge and the wisdom that was given to me is important to me because somebody else can use it and do some wonderful thing in the world with it. So I don't care.
No, I mean, as given that we haven't really been doing this for that much, I would say the podcast we haven't. Well, how long has it been actually?
It's about to be a
It's
month.
about to be a month. Wow.
It's about to be a month and a week. Or
That's
so.
actually, yeah, it's
Well, by the time
next-
this episode drops, it's gonna be.
it's gonna be
it will already
way,
be
yeah,
a
it'll
month.
be way past a month.
Yes.
But I say all that to say is everything gets easier as you continue to do it more and more and more, because you learn. I personally think you learn a little bit more tricks. You learn your
Tricks.
sweet spots. Yeah, tricks, your sweet spot, your process, your systems. You learn how to do things in a way where you're able to implement them to make your wheel move at a lot smoother essentially. But everything gets easier. So even despite everything that we've started, everything that we've stopped, everything that's part of that process, trusting the process, the journey, I mean, you name it. Along that way, you got to realize that everything gets easier as you keep doing it more and more and more. I mean, it's just part of the repetition game. The more you do something, the more you're going to understand it. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. I mean, I'm big in basketball. I mean, how many times did you dribble a basketball? Now you have, now you're able to, you don't even have to look down no more. How long did it take one to stop looking down at a basketball before, being able to look up and look at the teammates and look at the floor and see what's really going on there to be able to facilitate, the court and, make sure that you guys get a basket.
I think it's hard now to do that because we have a retention problem in our society. So it's you're in an environment where it's easy to start something, but being able to remain consistent at it, there's a lot more variable in our lives, in our day-to-day now, that does not allow us to, how many people can you count that want to go to the gym on a consistent basis, but because of the the variable that occurs during their life, they can't keep that same schedule up to to what they want it to be. So it's part of that with that goal that you have, though. If you don't have a goal, you're just going to the gym, just go to the gym. It's going to be extremely easy to just throw away whatever discipline that you have or consistency that you had. It's all starts with that goal. I mean, I hate to repeat myself, but it's the same thing, though. If you don't have a goal, you're going to be like, I can skip it. All right, so then let's get into this. When do you know a goal is actually your goal?
If you want it for yourself. It's a goal that you set. If somebody sets it for you, that's not your goal. You have to set your own goal for yourself. You have to hold yourself accountable. So if you're going to set your own goal for yourself, put it somewhere where you can look back at it and say, this is my goal. Or remind yourself, put something in your phone. This is something I actually just started doing this year. So I've been training myself to make sure I read the Bible every day, at least a verse a day, or a quote. Yeah, my streak. I messed it up.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I messed it up already. But why? How am I helping myself keep that streak going? I allow myself at a certain time every day, and the Bible app reminds me, pray. So boom, that's my way of keeping track of how my streak is. So I have a way to keep myself accountable. Is this time, it never fails. This time, as it shouldn't. At a certain time, I'm able to go right into the app and, boom, just focus on that one thing that it is that I've set myself to do. But it's something that I've wanted for myself, and it's something I'm working on. I messed up already, but it's not about, again, because I didn't stop. I'm not a quitter, baby. You can never put that name on me. Never.
I don't think anybody wanted to put that on you to begin with.
I'm just saying, no. That's just not what I want myself to be viewed as.
So who are you? If you're not a quitter.
I'm a self-starter. I'm with a trailblazer mindset. Come on, man.
Elaborate on that for.
No, save that for another day.
Why?
We'll save it for the episode that needs this one. That needs that.
Okay, so where were you trying to go with this question that you asked me?
Chill, bro. It's warning sign, man. You forgot? This man's freaking out. Anyways, again, that's how I know that a goal is a goal. So to go back to your question is, hey, you even asked me, like, let's go back to the question. It's identifying, when's a goal a goal? That's literally how I look at the goal. But the importance of all of this is to understand, stay in the game, the journey, everything, all of it. Understand what it is that you even have to do. Every year we all have set goals, but how long does that last?
Yeah, it's not how you start something, it's how you finish. But at the same time, you want to make sure you enjoy the journey along the way.
And I think that's the tough part.
I don't think so.
Enjoying the journey.
Well, yeah, because, not the entirety of that journey is going to be good.
Yeah.
There will be aspects of it that are very challenging, and you're like, am I actually on the right path? Do I want to do this?
Yeah, you start questioning yourself, doubting yourself.
But that's really when you need to start digging deep and really see, the true colors of why you were doing what you do. That's I think that's really when you know if you enjoy it or not, because it challenges you to the point where you have to get over that hump.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no turning back. If you do turn back, that you're giving up on yourself. You're quitting on yourself.
And you would hope things get easier the more and more you do it. But I actually heard this the other day. The more that, again, I think Biggie said it the best, more money, more problems. But, the more you accomplish or the more the things that you do, you have bigger problems. Like your problems no longer be the same. So you never, would you agree or disagree on this, that you never really have a hold of anything? Every day you're trying to figure out something.
You may not have a hold on anything, but you can have an understanding of what that thing is, and by having an understanding, you know how you can approach it.
That's unfair.
How is that unfair?
As much as you can try, as much as you can work on something, I mean, what do they say? 10,000 hours is considered mastery, right?
Right.
So then,
something like that.
Yeah. So then, even through all of that, you still don't have it figured out.
You don't have to. Well, if you don't have it figured out, that's totally fine. But just knowing that you're going somewhere, you understand that the end result is what you're seeking for, right? Whether you have it figured out or not, you know that it's basically when you have a puzzle, you have to complete this puzzle, right? But you don't know exactly what move you're going to make to finish the puzzle. But the end result is to finish the puzzle. So you're not too concerned with whether or not you know how you're going to go about finish this puzzle. But you're already heading in the right direction because you're aware that you need to complete this puzzle. So just having that awareness, that understanding, even if you don't have a full, you don't own it, you don't grasp that moment, but having that understanding, it allows you to then make the right decision on how you're going to approach that situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It's being aware. That's what I got from it. Being aware, so you know exactly what to do in certain scenarios.
You may not have a full hold of that situation, or be in control of it. Yeah, there's a lot of situations we're not in control of. But if you understand, okay, why am I in this situation? How it would allow you to then ask yourself question on how you can go about handling that situation. You don't have a hold of it, but you understand it. By understanding it, you make the right decision.
Do you think in that situation it's better to understand it or to seek out for guidance from somebody else that has?
Well, that's where it comes down to partnership. Who do you know that understand it better than you? Because that's probably the person who can handle it for you, or can actually guide you through that element. And that's why I was thinking about on my way here the power of asking questions. Being able to not be afraid, humble yourself to the point where, I know I don't know everything. Can I go out there and seek somebody who knows more than I do in a specific field, in a specific area, so they can help me? And vice versa. There's something that then somebody needs your expertise in,
If you need anything for real estate,
I don't know. That's questionable. I don't know if I would trust Ron with my.
That's
real
fine.
estate
You don't
stuff.
have to. There's already people that have. Joke's on you then, my friend.
But no, yeah. Do you get what I was saying basically?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense in terms of the partnership aspect.
Yeah.
It's all about that, man. Come on, man. Let's talk about that. But who, not how, man. Come on, man.
No,
Finish it first.
No,
then
well,
we can talk about
we need to finish talking about what we were, just
yeah, but no, it's
talking
part
about.
of the journey. All of this is part of the journey. Even if you don't have it all figured out, to me it sounds very unfair, but it's part of life. It's part of that process that we all have to go through in order to figure out, hey, what are we good at, but like just whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. You may not know it all, and that is perfectly fine. Find somebody that knows it all. Become a partner with somebody.
Don't find somebody that knows it all, because there's no
Well, I'm not
such
saying-
individual as that. But
yeah.
somebody that's that has the right knowledge in the field that they're good at.
Right. I'm not saying know it all
No.
as if like somebody that just doesn't. Yeah, I was more reflecting on the person that can speak on whatever it is that you need help on.
Yeah.
I just used the wrong words.
Well, how do you feel as though we're applying that to this project, to this podcast? Do you think we're doing a good job at?
Oh, I mean, jeez.
It's a question in itself.
This is actually a really good question.
Yeah.
So, are you saying like the partnership aspect or just the journey?
Do you think with the way we started, the mindset that we had when we started this podcast, do you think we're still aligned with it as of now?
I think
I know it's still early on.
Yeah, I think the mindset and just even what we've planned on doing with it has changed slightly, just because we're seeing more of the power of it, and I would hope that our minds change to grow and see bigger and do better, and accomplish more. If our minds stayed at where we once started, I mean that's a beautiful thing if you thought big enough to the point where you didn't have to make any adjustments. But I think where we are today is, we definitely think we shifted a little bit, to just understand better, how to create this to be something that lasts a very long time, and something that, people can tune into whenever it is that you need, whatever it is that you need from this to get through whatever it is that you're going through. Or maybe it's just a simple, I need to understand a little bit more about the journey, right? Particularly in this episode. What about yourself? Do you think that our mindset has changed, or even our processes has changed from the beginning phases to where we are today?
I think we're slightly, because we're thinking a lot bigger than what we intentionally expected. There's some more opportunity that we see with this, which then allows us to focus more on how we can give more content to our community in general.
Right.
And not just any type of content, but valuable content that they can apply to their day-to-day. So just by constantly refining that idea, those thoughts, it's going to change. So it did slightly change over time, but it's for the better.
That's a true testament, though. I mean, even when we're going through this, we're still finding little things that we should fix, little things that we should make better. And I mean, we truly indeed don't know anything about this podcasting thing. We just literally, like, if we go back to the beginning, we didn't have any resources. We just had a resource, I would say, that literally guided us through it. And here we are today. How do you guys think we're doing so far, though? How do you think we're doing, actually?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I am. How do you think we're doing so far?
You know me, there's room for improvement.
Of course.
There's always room for improvement. I think it's good that we're actually starting something, rather than just talk about it like we have for quite some time. Because we can then go out there and make the mistakes that we need to make to get better as we're growing with it, rather than just talking about it and not taking action.
Yeah.
That's to me, when I think walk and grow, I think take action and move forward. So it's taking that initiative to even launch something like this. So I'll strongly encourage anybody who wants to do not just a podcast, but anything that you want to get into, go out there and just start. See how it goes, and even if it's not a good experience, at least you've started it, and you just adjust as you go with
adapt
that.
And adjust.
Yeah, adapt and adjust, and it gets, it may not get better, but it gets to the point where you slowly gets to understand what what you put yourself into a bit more, which open your eyes and actually allows you to understand if okay, is this an avenue that I want to continue to pursue, or do I need to switch things up?
Right.
But at least you tried, and now you've checked that box that okay, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I don't want to do. Or this is something that I want to do, but I don't want to do it by myself. I may need a partner. You will not know these things if you just constantly talk about it and don't take action. I don't care how difficult that situation is, but you have to be able to put yourself in a position to at least go out there and start knocking at doors. Even if you don't know how, that's part of having a dream. You don't know how all the pieces are going to fit, but that's, what you want. You want your puzzle to look a certain way. And start building that connections with the individual that would help you get to that level.
Yeah. You
don't have to go at this thing all by yourself. This life is not meant to be navigated, alone. But yeah.
Right. No, this podcast is part of our journey. Yeah. So we're not only
I'm just doing this so I don't have to tell my kids anything. I'll just tell them, go listen to the podcast. All the content is there. No, I'm joking. I still have to do my part, but
that's one way of parenting. I'll tell you that.
Go hear all the tapes, start from the beginning, and you will have everything you need. But no,
like I was saying, this podcast is part of our, our journey, and just like Francis was just mentioning just now, we're all about taking action. I mean, this is why the Walk and Grow podcast even exists, is because we're two action takers. We're two individuals who take action. We just want to help everybody else become more individuals that can take action on whatever it is that you want. And we're living everything that we talk about. I mean, everything that we've once talked about, everything we're going to talk about, we've probably talked about it in the past amongst each other. Now we just want to be able to share it with you, because we're all going through some sort of process. I mean, one of ours, as you all know, is the podcast. Francis is going to have something coming up for you guys, as if you guys
House of Wisdom.
Yeah, and also something else with one-to-one. I'll let him release that whenever he's ready to do that. But as some of you may know, I'm in real estate. So we all have our journey of something that we have to navigate, learn to make it to that next level, to refine it, to do something. But the important part about it all is how long do you stay in the game? And the game could really be anything. Again,
do you have the proper team while you're in this game?
Well, you're not gonna have. I don't think you're gonna have the proper team to begin with.
But you can. But you
can build it.
You can definitely build a team that that allows you to navigate through this game.
Absolutely, it's all about a team. I mean, a team is going to help you get further. You do it by yourself, you're gonna get you. There's so much that you can do by yourself. Now, if you have a team, you all have 24 hours in a day. You know how much hours that is amongst each other, rather than just that one person. It's truly indeed important to understand that if you have a team structure, or even building a team structure, that you guys all have the same 24 hours. Now, if each person divides their time up to the point where they can focus on what they're good at and allow that other person to do what they're good at, I mean, you're just maximizing everybody's time at that point. And that journey looks quite sweet to me.
Yeah, and that's what I hope we are able to accomplish for our communities. Being able to utilize our expertise to lift each other up and complement one another in a meaningful way. How can you do what you do best and help others in your community at the same time? How can you help? How can you help? Can you bring your skill sets to the point where it's building meaningful relationship and meaningful work that would live for generation to come? Or are you just doing it to, collect some funds and pay bills and go about, get wasted on Fridays and Saturdays? And I mean, just multiple things you can do with your money. But why are you here? I'm kind of going off rant, but
yeah,
I'm gonna chill. You know me when I get in the zone. But yeah.
You said something that kind of struck a light bulb in my head. You mentioned, if what are you really doing this for? If there's a way that you can help, how could one really identify how to help somebody? Because of course, yeah, they may have a way of helping through whatever it is that they're doing, whether it be volunteering in their business or just, naturally going about their day and just helping another person. But how does one identify that someone is in need of something like?
Well, everybody's in need of something. It's just that we are not able to all help in what that something is. It's like what I'm in need of, for example, may not be something that you can help me with, but there's somebody out there in the universe that can help me with it. So it's more about identifying what can you help others with. What is that one thing that you bring to the table that you're good at, and you've nurtured it to the point where you're able to then spread that wealth with others.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, it's something that people usually compliment you about. Like, what is something that you always get a compliment about?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have something. A lot of people tell me I'm a great talker. I don't know if I agree with that though. But go ahead. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. But because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're a great talker, then how is it that you're going to be able to help somebody?
You tend to, you will notice. I don't know about a great talker. I have no idea about that. But you will tend to notice when you are around the people that you spend a lot of time around.
Yeah.
They will notice certain things about you that they will mention, and those are probably the best individual to ask. Okay, what do you think of when you think of me? What do you think of of me as? What are some things that stand out when you think? You should definitely ask your core group of friends.
That's for real.
Because then it allows you to understand. Okay, this is I'm actually good at something here. We all have that one thing that stands out when we are around our people. That's one way to figure out what is that thing that you're good at to help others. But identifying it and also making sure that that's something that you like. Bro, everybody's different. Everybody's going to figure this thing out themselves in one way or another. But there are things there's ways you can go about it that will somewhat, give you the clarity that you need to.
And I think you only get that clarity in identifying whatever it is that you want if you focus. Do you wake up and dream about it? Do you go to sleep dreaming about it? Do you wake up thinking about it? Do you go to sleep thinking about it? Like it's not something I think that's just gonna come to you. I really don't think that that's the case. And yeah, I only mention that because that's kind of how you're making it seem is, just ask your core friends around you. But you also got to be focused on identifying whatever it is as well. Because part of the journey, part of the process is focus.
Ultimately, yes, it's you having to focus on yourself and do the, figuring it out for yourself. But you spend so much time around people that get to, see a facet of your life as well.
Mm-hmm.
So having, I understand that someone's advice is just a limitation of, their opinion. But having that advice is also something that you can look at as a jump start to understand who you are.
Got it.
It's not the entire picture, but it gives you a general understanding of some of the, the bullet points that you can highlight on your resume, your resume of life.
Interesting.
Yeah. What is on your resume of life? That's the question.
So that's an interesting question. To try to get to the end to it of what is on your resume, because a lot of things is you figure out as you go. We wake up every day,
but there are things that you, no matter what day it is, you're passionate about.
Yeah, but
no matter what mood that you're in, these are things that allows you to look forward to another day, if I could put it that way.
And that's perfectly
It could
fine.
be family. It could be just the work that you do, the purpose that drives you in, your day to day.
You wake up every day and you don't. You may understand the things that get you through the day, but you truly, indeed, like you said, it's choices. You wake up every day and you still have to figure it out. even if it's something that you're passionate about.
But that's why understanding why you wake up every day is helpful.
But would you even consider that like part of the journey? Like,
It is.
how?
Because you have to figure that out. It's not something that you automatically wake up and you're like, this is what my life calling is. You figure that out as you grow. It's through experience that you figure out what your true life meaning is. You don't just, it's not, yes, it may have been written somewhere, but it's not something that's just plain, tattoo on your body when you're born. You discover yourself, and as you discover yourself, you discover what your true purpose is.
You figured out your purpose? You talk a lot about that. I just want to throw that question out there so the people know,
Yes,
people.
I have figured out my purpose.
I think we should have an episode on identifying your purpose.
No.
Because we talk about it. You said no?
No.
Wow.
Because everybody's purpose is different.
Yes, but
and
how
everybody's going to go about it. Everybody's going to figure that on their way, on their journey. That's the beauty of life.
On their journey.
Yes, they will figure it out on their journey. But we
that's
all
cruel,
do
man.
have a purpose. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to tell people how to go figure out?
No, not figure it
I
out,
can't
but at
do
least
that.
identify, like, what did you, I guess we could do that along the lines of this podcast.
What are you talking about? Like how to figure out your purpose?
How'd you figure it out? Not how to. Because, I mean, like you said, you can't identify you can't identify somebody's purpose for them. They have to figure it out themselves. But, hey, if you could give pointers here and there of how you went about it, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. When
But I think we do that already with this
I think
podcast.
so. Yeah, I'm not
With
even going to touch too much into it because I think that's something that we already do, and we will continue to do it over time.
Right.
But I think it's important to understand what your purpose is.
Because your purpose essentially gets you through everything else. It's hard for you to give up on your purpose if you truly indeed know what you want to do. And whatever it is, and I think this is a cool thing that I figured out not too long ago is, even if you know your purpose, your purpose is going to be, it may be so big enough to the point where you don't know how you're going to get it, And I think that's the cool thing about it because, like I just mentioned, we wake up every day. We don't know what today is going to be. You can schedule your day, and even throughout scheduling your day, you'll find with things that you're doing, you're like, that wasn't part of my schedule because of whatever emergency or whatever got plugged into it. But you're going through every day with identifying new things that you're going to learn. And you're going to figure it out. Like, hey, is this part of my journey or not? Is this part of the purpose or not? But the goal is to, again, focus on what it is that you truly indeed want. That journey, that path of whatever it is. I will say this, though, last but not least, as the final remarks, stay in the game as long as possible. And again, that game is whatever you decided to be. The journey is very long, and you may not know how long it's going to take. How long are you willing to go before you say, this is it, right? Before you decide to change, or before you decide to say, put your hands up in the air and just let it go, let the time go past to the point where you don't even decide to work on it anymore. Or did you already outgrown it? So it's truly, how long are you going to stay in it? Are you going to stay in it just to accomplish what you need to accomplish? Or are you going to stay in it to accomplish what you need to accomplish and then create bigger goals or create another journey or something else that you can then allows you to stay in that game?
The focus is just leveling up, cause I know the life I want, I'm just setting it up. Removing those that's close who try messing it up. Can't wait for champagne toast with the relevant bunch. Like, what's up? Yeah, like what you do, homie? What's your vision? How you thinking? How you move, homie? And is you cool, homie? You thinking building, then that's something we could do, homie.